She's the first rookie to win WNBA Player of the Month since the award's inception in 2010, and last night it was no exception. They were sky high for Caitlin Clark and the Fever, but to start the season, they had a little bit of a rough go of it. They lost their first 5 games. They ended up 1-8 through their first 9 games, and during that first month, the playoffs, they didn't feel realistic at all. Indy entered the Olympic break 11-15 on the year, and then they really turned it around. They've won 7 of their 8 since. They clinched a playoff berth for the first time since 2016, which, by the way, was the last year of Hall of Famer and franchise icon Tamika Catchings.
Imagine being a rookie and breaking records left and right. That's Caitlin Clark for you. First rookie ever to get a triple-double in the WNBA. Most assists in a single season, but then the playoffs hit and suddenly it's like watching a different player. What went wrong? Let's talk about Clark's insane rookie season. She was dishing out assists like candy, averaging 8.4 per game. That's not just good, that's league-leading good. And get this, she was putting up 19.2 points and grabbing 5.7 rebounds per game too. The Indiana Fever hadn't made the playoffs since 2016, but Clark changed all that. You know what's crazier? Clark won Rookie of the Year unanimously. Every single voter picked her. That's huge for her and the Fever. But hold on, this rookie sensation story isn't all sunshine. What happens when the pressure really turns up? You won't believe what's coming next. Clark's regular season was one for the history books, but playoffs, that's a whole different ballgame. Ever wondered how even the brightest stars can dim under pressure? Clark's playoff debut tells a story you need to hear. Picture this, the Indiana Fever back in the playoffs for the first time since 2016, all thanks to their rookie sensation.
She has lived up to expectations, right? I'm looking at her the way I look at LeBron James, right? For us, just in the women's side of things, and the hype that she had, the expectations she had.
Let's start with the rookie, Caitlin Clark Kent. Superwoman, you see what I did there? She was on a tear, and last night was no different. Wings, Fever, Caitlin Clark set to go as she broke the single-season assist record.
She's been playing like a top 5 player in the league. She's been regularly dishing out double-digit assists in that time frame. Teams can no longer blitz her and trap her.
The atmosphere was electric, expectations through the roof. But as soon as Clark stepped onto that court against the Connecticut Sun, something was different. You know how Clark was dropping dimes left and right in the regular season? Well, in the playoffs, those passes weren't finding their mark. Shots that usually swished were clanking off the rim. It was like watching a completely different player. There was this one moment that really summed it up. Clark had the ball, looking to make something happen, but instead of one of her signature assists, she turned it over. The Sun capitalized, and just like that, the momentum shifted. You could almost feel the air being sucked out of the arena. So what happened? Was it the pressure, the Suns' defense locking her down, or maybe fatigue from carrying the team all season? It's probably a mix of all three. Playoff basketball is a different beast, and Clark was getting her first taste of it. Let's break it down with some numbers. During the regular season, Clark was putting up 19.2 points per game. In the playoffs, that number took a nosedive. Her assists, which were a league-leading 8.4 per game, also dropped significantly. It's like night and day when you compare her regular season dominance to her playoff struggles. But here's the thing, this happens to a lot of rookies. The playoffs are intense, and even the most talented players can struggle when they first experience that level of pressure. It's like going from playing pickup games at the park to suddenly being in the NBA Finals. The game's the same, but everything else totally different. You know how they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? Well, for Caitlin Clark, her playoff struggles might just be the secret ingredient to future greatness. Think about it. Some of the biggest WNBA legends had rough starts in the playoffs too. It's like a rite of passage for rookies, even the amazing ones. Let's break down Clark's playoff performance. Her scoring took a hit, and those jaw-dropping assists we got used to.
So Caitlin Clark finished with that triple-double. She just continues her superstar trajectory. She's the only rookie in WNBA history with the triple-double.
Caitlin Clark is doing things beyond her years. Let me show you how good 22 has been. She's on pace to generate the most points in a season in WNBA history.
They vanished like magic, but here's the thing, this isn't the end of Clark's story. It's just the beginning of a new chapter. Remember how Clark started the season shooting just 33.8% from three-point range? That's not great for a sharpshooter like her. But what happened next? She turned it around, big time. By the end of the season, she was averaging a double-double with 21.4 points and 10.0 assists. That's the kind of improvement that separates good players from great ones. Now, imagine Clark taking that same work ethic and applying it to her playoff experience. It's like she's got a cheat code for leveling up her game. She's already shown she can adapt and improve. This playoff setback, it's just fuel for the fire. And you know what's crazy? Some people might look at Clark's playoff struggles and think maybe she's not cut out for the big time, but that's missing the point. It's like judging a book by its first chapter. The playoffs are a whole different animal, and even the most talented rookies need time to adjust. Here's where it gets interesting. Clark's resilience is off the charts. She's not the type to let a few bad games get her down. Instead, she's probably already in the gym, working on her game. Maybe she's focusing on her shot selection, or figuring out how to handle that intense playoff defensive pressure. Or she could be working on her stamina, making sure she can bring that same energy in the fourth quarter that she brings in the first. Think about it this way. If Michael Jordan never faced failure, would he have become the GOAT? Probably not. It's the setbacks that push great players to become legends. And that's exactly what we might be witnessing with Clark. So what's next for Caitlin Clark? Picture this, a more experienced, tougher Clark stepping onto the court next season. She's learned from her playoff struggles, she's worked on her weaknesses, and she's hungry to prove herself all over again. That's a scary thought for the rest of the league. Clark's rookie accolades are impressive, but her true test lies ahead. Can she silence the doubters and prove she's more than just a one-season wonder? The answer might surprise even her biggest fans. Let's talk about Clark's future in the WNBA. She's already made history as the first rookie to snag a triple-double and lead the league in assists. That's insane. But you know what's even crazier? Some people still aren't convinced she's the real deal. Take WNBA legend Cheryl Swoops, for example. She's not totally sold on Clark yet. Swoops said, "I didn't think Caitlin or Angel, Reese, would come into the league and dominate immediately." Ouch, that's like Michael Jordan telling a rookie they're not that special. But here's the thing. Clark's not just any rookie. She won Rookie of the Year unanimously. Every single voter picked her. That's huge. It's like getting a perfect score on your basketball report card. So, what's next for Clark? Her sophomore season is going to be wild. Everyone's going to be watching, waiting to see if she can keep up the pace. Will she crumble under the pressure or rise to the challenge? Imagine Clark coming back even stronger. She's already shown she can adapt and improve. Remember how she started the season shooting just okay from three-point range? By the end, she was dropping double-doubles like they were nothing. That's the kind of player who doesn't stay down for long. But let's be real, the expectations are going to be through the roof. Clark's not just playing for herself anymore. She's carrying the hopes of the entire Indiana Fever franchise. They made the playoffs for the first time since 2016 because of her. Now, fans are going to expect even more. Here's a bold prediction. Clark's going to break more records. I'm talking assists, points, maybe even a championship run. Yeah, I said it, a championship run. The Fever haven't won it all since 2012, but with Clark at the helm, anything's possible. Think about it. Clark's already proven she can hang with the best in the regular season. Now that she's had a taste of playoff basketball, she's gonna come back hungrier than ever. She's got the skills, the work ethic, and now she's got the experience. That's a dangerous combination, but it's not just about the numbers. Clark's got that star quality. She's the kind of player who makes you want to tune in just to see what she'll do next. And in a league that's growing faster than ever, that's gold. Caitlin Clark's rookie year was a wild ride. She broke records, won Rookie of the Year unanimously, and led the Fever to the playoffs. But then came the postseason struggles. It's like two different players showed up. Here's the thing. This is just the start for Clark. She's already proven she can adapt and improve. Remember how she turned her three-point shooting around? That's the kind of player who bounces back stronger. But it's not all smooth sailing. Clark's got some work to do, especially with those turnovers. She set a rookie record with 174 in a season. That's a lot of lost possessions. So what's next for Clark? Will she come back even stronger and dominate the league? Or will the pressure be too much? One thing's for sure, all eyes will be on her next season.